Good morning, Hilltop. In here and out there, we are doing a song called A Light in This World, which we absolutely need. I am a light, I'm a light in this world, and I shine, and I shine, and I shine so bright. Stand if you want, sway back and forth. All right, here we go. I am a light, I am a light, I am a light in this world. I am a light, I am a light, I am a light in this world. And I shine, and I shine, and I shine so bright. And I shine, and I shine, and I shine so bright. That was so beautiful. Let's do that again. I'm a light. I am a light, I am a light. Sing loud and clear. I am a light in this world. I am a light, I am a light, I am a light in this world. And I shine, and I shine, and I shine, and I shine so bright. And I shine, and I shine, and I shine, and I shine so bright. And turn to someone and sing, you are a light. You are a light, you are a light, you are a light in this world. You are a light, you are a light, you are a light in this world. And you shine, and you shine, and you shine, and you shine so bright. And you shine, and you shine, and you shine, and you shine so bright. And move around and sing to someone else. You are a light. You are a light. You are a light. You are a light in this world. You are a light. You are a light. You are a light in this world. And you shine, yes you do. Yes you do. And you shine so bright. And you shine, and you shine, and you shine, and you shine so bright. And we are a light, oh yes. We are a light, we are a light, we are a light in this world. We are a light, we are a light, we are a light in this world. And we shine, yes we do. And we shine, and we shine so bright. And we shine, yes we do. And we shine, and we shine so bright. We shine, we shine, we shine, we shine, we shine, we shine. Oh, yes, you're just beaming with light. Thank you very much.
Gosh, boy, that took me back. That took me back. It was good to see. That was good. Thank you so much. Hello, everybody. Welcome. Quite the day. We have a big new. Am I on? I am on. Today is what's known as Imbolc, also known as Candlemas, also known as the Feast of Saint Bridget. But my favorite image of this is it comes from the Greek tradition, because it is said that Persephone lights her candle and begins making her way from the underworld to this world. It's that midpoint between the winter solstice and the spring equinox, and so light is happening, and so it's all about life awakening, and we can see it in our gardens, and we can see it around, and so it's got nice energy today. So it's good to have that here. And it's good to be with you all. I do want to say at the very beginning, though, that we have a memorial candle burning because our beloved Gary Richard made his transition. And And he was on the board that elected me to become the minister here. So he has been here the entire duration for me, and I always just today I'm just thinking, where's Gary? But so he's just in our hearts and our minds, and we're just sending him love and joy as he continues to spiral, knowing that the part of him that was never born will never die, and that consciousness is always seeking expression. So we bless him. We bless you on the other side there, my friend. And I want to welcome everybody from the virtual world. We've gotten a couple notes from you guys. We're working on it. We think we got it, so be patient with us. We think we got it streaming well now. But anyway, I'm glad that you're patient, and I'm glad that you're here, and I'm especially glad that you guys are here too, because it's just more fun when you're here. Let's see, what do we want to talk about? Things that are coming down the line. I can't think of anything, or I'm not seeing any slides. So, there we go. We have a potluck next Sunday. Next Sunday, a potluck, yes, after service. So bring something that you enjoy, and we'll be doing that. Yes, so we also have a board meeting next Sunday too. So coinciding with that, we have our annual board meeting March 15th. That's a really important day because we talk about a new membership, new leadership. We go over kind of the business of who we've been for the whole year and where we see ourselves going. So please make every effort to be there on that day. Thank you for that. And let's see what else we got going on here. I don't even know what the... Oh, youth and family. Okay. I can't read that. But they're there, and if you have kids, or if you know someone that would like to come and they have kids, let them know that we've got that going on. The Open Mind Gift Shop has always got some good stuff, so please check that out. And what? And then your class, yes, Jim is back. Jim is not only back, but he has come back a grandpa. So he's going by the name of Grand Elf, which I love that. Hey, if I could name my dog after a Viking king, Jim can be Grand Elf. It's all good to me. Yeah. So that's happening. You are welcome here. Prayer. Before we say anything, please do not leave without the benefit of prayer. If your heart is touched in any way, you can see one of our practitioners. Paul is here. Liz is here. Andrea is here. Who is here? There is here, there is there, no one else there. That's it. So you talk to one of them and they will pray with you. Paul will lead a prayer circle about 10 minutes after service in the Emerson room. You can fill out requests. The narthex and the practitioners get together every Friday morning and we pray. So that's that. Anything else? You got anything going on?
We've got Kay Hill and Deline here. So
we do.
Welcome the amazing guest music. Thanks for being here.
Yes. And I'm welcoming Jim, and I'm forgetting to mention his class. So he's got his class going on, and Well-Being in the Tao. That happens on Sunday mornings at 9 a.m. And all is good. Eventually, I'm going to make it. I was looking this morning, and I said, I should be in there. But I was, whatever I was doing. So let's see, what else is going on? Oh, we got a question. We have a question. We certainly do have a question. So the question of the morning is, and by the way, if you want to prep yourself and kind of wonder if you want to think about the question, there is a notice that goes out every Sunday morning that has the link for the live stream, and we put the question on every morning there too. So the question of the day is this: personally speaking, when have you experienced the power of love over the love of power? The power of love over the love of power. Want to take a shot?
Yeah, I can do this one. I first thought of going through a divorce where I know historically that can be really messy, but I really appreciated that we had enough love for our child and each other that we made it very grown up and painless. But then I thought on a very, very personal level, it's the act of going to sleep when I don't want to because I'm trying to solve the world's problems and think I have the power to do so through writing. And an act of self-love is to say, hey, just go to sleep because that's going to be the best thing for yourself instead of trying to control things.
Very good.
And that's the love of power.
Very good. Love that. How about you, Pablo?
So I can go many directions with this one, but first of all, I'll just start out with, just understanding my patterns and where I'm at, and really exploring that, I'm here to do something in this world, and to do it from a place of love versus power. And so just to really follow my heart and just allow the trust of the divine to lead me and guide me in all that I do. And then I was just thinking about how, Jesus in the desert, he was tempted many times, and, he was tempted to turn rocks into bread. And so he refused that. And just so that idea just really makes me think about, the purpose and the love that overrides any sense of power.
Very good. You guys want to give it a try?
Are you looking at me, sir?
I'm looking at you, sir.
Okay. The power of love overcomes the love of power. In the situation we find ourselves here in America, I'm finding that the best thing I can do as an individual is to send light to those who need it. And we know there's a lot of people who need light right now, and they need to understand that love, the power of love, overcomes the love of power. So that's something I can do while I'm falling asleep and trying to solve the world's problems. I can send light to those problems and to those people who have those kind of worldviews that think that power is the answer. It's not the answer. Love and light is the answer.
Very good. Very good. All right. How about you, my dear?
He spoke for both of us.
Okay. So we'll let it out to you guys.
Exactly the same thing.
Okay. Any takers here? I see a couple hands. I love it.
Hey there. I was fortunate enough, I experienced the power of love this week listening to Bruce Springsteen's song that came out on about Minneapolis, but the unifying nature of the song and the effect that it had, that it was love that was felt inside of me and everyone else at the same time. It was very unifying.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful.
Right on. Okay, I see. Yep, well, there's Roxanne over here.
When I think of people that have inspired me on this topic, of course I think of Martin Luther King, I think of Sister Teresa, I think of people that have dedicated their lives to unity. And I think from many that have been said, what is mine to do and what is mine not to do? And sending light and love and doing what I can to not only lift myself up, but be a light unto the world for all of those suffering. So I try to transfer my frustration or my fear or any of the negatives into saying, okay, what is mine to do? And that helps.
Okay. Over there to the, yep. All right, yeah.
Well, what comes to mind to me is someone in authority, and they have that choice. And on a very personal level, this really happened a long time ago, but my daughter in first grade, and she had a teacher who could have expressed love to these children, but instead she expressed fear and power to the point where she would walk around and dump a desk over if it was messy, or hide a library book if the child left it out. My daughter ended up not wanting to go to school because she had a stomachache every day. But at the same time, my daughter was in a special class for learning to read better. And that teacher showed the opposite, that love, and hugged and gave them encouragement and just that witness. And you see that often, at least I do, in positions of authority, whether it's a president or even on the most small level in our lives.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful. Anyone else? We got a couple back there, yes.
Love and power. It's quite a contradiction and yet it is the same. For me, I use love over power in my relationships, whether it's my first wife, with Carol, or any of my friends. I know that there's an energy about me. Sometimes people think I'm intimidating because I'm big and I'm powerful. But the reality is that every time I do something, I always do it through love. And sometimes it's misinterpreted, but I think my whole life, even when I play Santa Claus to the kids, it's all about giving to them and the love that they have to give to the world. So that's how I choose it.
Beautiful. There's Chris up here, Paul.
I can't see your hand, you guys.
My father in his younger days was a boxer. He boxed for the Golden Gloves. I feel certain that's where I get my fighting spirit. My fighting spirit is there more than I show the love, and I'm learning that that's not always helpful. It's very hard for me to see the abuse of power that's going on in our politics today, but it's very enlightening for me to see all the people who are coming together now, also coming together because we all know that it's not right. We all know that kindness is right, that brotherly love is right. And we're not willing to take the kind of abuse that we're getting right now. And so I'm learning that this man who brings out the worst in me is also showing me and teaching me how to be a better person.
Beautiful. All right.
Good morning, I'm Carrie. I just wanted to share that last night I went to see the Broadway touring of Simon and Garfunkel. It was just fantastic and brought the house down with Bridge Over Troubled Water. But they had a slideshow the whole time showing back in the 60s and 70s when we had such unrest.
Yeah.
And reminiscent of the unrest we have now. But boy, people really took over with love back then, wrote such strong political songs to unify, go out of their way and risk their lives. People are just, humanity's amazing. Anyway, if you get a chance, go see it. It's phenomenal.
Yeah. All right. Anyone else? Anyone else? All right, Paul, you're on.
Yeah, what a remarkable day it is, and a remarkable time. And you know, one of the things I'm really excited about are the Epstein files. So.
Hang on, guy. Hang on.
But all kidding aside, you know, I want to welcome those who are new here, and my dear friend Jeremy. He's here. We're yoga buddies, and we practice yoga together. So welcome to our humble little church. And I also want to just welcome everyone here today as well to in this gathering where we get to just share love, you know, and really experience this sense of growth and within ourselves, because we're all on this evolutionary path, and whether you know we like it or not, we're always evolving and growing spiritually. And so I honor you for coming here and really taking note of the heart and the spirit of this life that we all get to share. And so with that, let us simply just really usher in this moment of peace, right? Because truly that's what this is all about. It's about peace and harmony and just following that guidance that is divine. And so if you like, you can close your eyes with me while we just settle in our seats and really just call forth in that spirit of love here and now. And so what I know to be true is that there is this infinite presence that is always with us. That presence is beauty, it is life, it is love, and it is truth. For it is a presence that is just a wonder and an awe, especially now as we simply notice a little bit more light and warmth and the smell of the orange blossoms, where we get to celebrate each other here and know that that presence is always with us. It is in the earth, in the environment, and in the fresh breeze that we feel upon our skin. And so as we gather here today, I know that we are simply being called to a greater sense of harmony and truth, regardless of what is happening in our world. For we strengthen that spiritual muscle that is pure love, and allows us to see the truth and heal those parts within ourselves so that we can just be a little bit more loving in our experience. And so as we go forth today, I know that this service is blessed, and that the insights and the love that is gained is simply a pointer of the finger post, allowing us to continue to walk on the illumined path that is presented to us by the divine. And so with that, I simply release and let God, knowing that it is so, and so it is.
It is.
And so the reading this morning, I thought was very fitting for our current times, about evolution, and really allowing that divine presence to lead us and to deepen us into a greater sense of who we are. And it was written by just an amazing figure in our time. And I think, for him to be here and to really be able to call forth to this figure in any moment is just such a blessing to me. And it's written by Paramahansa Yogananda in his work called Man's Eternal Quest. And the reading goes, humanity is engaged for that eternal quest, for that something else he or she hopes will bring him or her happiness, complete and unending. For those individual souls who have sought and found God, or the divine, the search is over. He or she is that something else. And now let us just simply contemplate that in a brief meditation. Love and light and sodas.
So this.
I was listening to all of you speak out there and just thinking, what an amazing group we all are. And this song is called You Are a Miracle. And it's by our dear friend Joan Kurland. And listen deeply to the lyrics. You are a miracle. You are a miracle, my friend. You are a miracle, and we can make it to the end. You are a gift of God. You are a glowing beam of light. You are a gift of God, and you can make it through the night. Go forth and share your love with all the others. Fear not, for they're your sisters and your brothers. You are a shining star. You are a light for everyone. You are a shining star, and you're as brilliant as the sun. You are a miracle. The world was waiting for your birth. Now let your light stream out and spread it all around the earth. Go forth and share your love with all the others. Fear not, for they're your sisters and your brothers. You are a miracle. You are the only one like you. You are a miracle, and there is one thing you must do. Let all your love go free. Have faith and let it be released. Let all your love go free and spread the healing light of peace. Go forth and share your love with all the others. Fear not, for they're your sisters and your brothers. You are a miracle. I am a miracle. We are a miracle, my friend.
Thank you. I got it. Pack up here, or not pack in, pack out, whatever I'm setting up is what I'm doing now. So this month I want to explore this idea about the power of love over the love of power. And I kind of want to weave into it, and I'm going to kind of go a couple directions that you'll probably see me going in right now. But mostly I'm anchoring it on two things. One is this quote from Dr. Martin Luther King, where he says, what we need to realize is that power without love is reckless and abusive. And love without power is sentimental and anemic. It's precisely this collision of immoral power with powerless morality, which represents the major crisis of our time. Yeah, let's just kind of breathe into that, this idea that the crisis of our time really is this collision of this idea of power, expediency, and this idea of sentimentality, and somewhere or another, the opportunity for us to kind of rehabilitate that. And for me, what I'm looking at is that we are, I mentioned this last week, we are in perilous times. We are in perilous times. It's not the first time we've been in perilous times. It probably isn't going to be the last time that we're not in perilous times. You know, there's this incredible image that comes from the Hindu tradition about this idea of a Kali Yuga. And I don't know if we're in the Kali Yuga or not, and it's not even important to kind of go down that route. But it talks about how sometimes fruit becomes overripe. And that's kind of like what happens. It becomes burdensome, and it just gets filled, and it almost becomes toxic, and then it just drops. But you know, in that dropping and in that falling away, the seeds for something new begins to happen. And I think part of how we learned how to navigate through the perilous times is for me, it's to anchor into the ancient wisdoms, traditions, and what they have to say, because it was real in their lives as well. Not only that, but also just to think in terms of literature that we read, because I don't think that the wisdom that we embrace is simply limited to literature that we call sacred. I think what makes literature sacred, or what makes sacred literature, is the attention that is given to it, and how we begin to hold it with a little of reverence. So, you know, obviously for me, there's Tolkien in that. But I've been thinking a lot, you know, mostly of Martin Luther King. I'm thinking about this guy, Hartmut Rosa, who wrote a book, he wrote several books, but one of them was called The Uncontrollability of the World. And what he says essentially is this, you know, we're always looking for certainty. And our idea of certainty is to control it, right? Man, if I've got it under control, then I'm safe. But what he says is that a controlled world is a dead world. And that instead of going for something like trying to that, is to embrace the uncontrollability of it all. And how we do that, and I'll explore that this month, is through what he calls resonance, to resonate. And in a sense, the power of love really is the power of resonance. It's that entrainment with something, and that's kind of where we kind of want to go. But where I want to open up today is I've been contemplating the beginning of Jesus' ministry. When he came out. And I'd like to just, if I can, just take a minute or two to kind of create an image of the time in ancient Palestine when Jesus, as it says, as a 30-year-old young man, was getting ready to make his start. And it goes back a little further than that. You know, at the time of Jesus, Palestine was occupied by the Romans. And often in history, we see the Romans somewhat whitewashed. You know, all the problems seem to be somebody else, and somehow or another the Romans get off the hook. Mostly because when the Gospels were written, Constantine had his lawyers edit that, and to make them sort of a little bit more pro-Roman, but they weren't. And one of the main culprits or characters of this was a man by the name of Herod Antipas, who was considered the king of Judea at the time, and he was put into power by the Romans, and he was supported in his power by the Romans, and he was ruthless, he was brutal, he was a bad guy. He killed like his wife and many of his kids, and he was hated by the populace. But he tried to curry favor, so he built this grand ballroom, not a ballroom, a temple. He builds this temple. So he builds this temple, and the elite are invited to the temple. Because what happens is in Judaism, Jewish law at the time is that if a pilgrim or someone was coming to Jerusalem, coming to the temple, it was believed that you probably were associated with unclean people, and riffraff and one thing or another. So you needed to sort of cleanse yourself, and there was these ritual cleansings that took place at the temple. It was called a baptism. And if you had, you could go to the private baths, and you could go in here, and you would be ritually cleansed, and it was all this wonderful kind of thing. At the time, there was a man by the name of John who was called the baptizer. Now, what's interesting about John is that his parents, his father, was of the priestly class. They were the aristocracy. They worked at the temple. They curried favor with the Romans. And so John is very interesting because he moves his ritual cleansing not at the temple, at the seat of power where everything is. He's about a day and a half away at the River Jordan. And he's doing a different kind of cleansing. Because what he's saying is it's not necessarily just the physical cleansing, but it's this idea how we begin to change our perception on things, how we change the way or turn from how we have been operating to something else. And then again, it's kind of whitewashed in the Gospels why, Herod eventually beheads him. But imagine, if you would, this young, educated son of aristocracy who rejects the temple and all that the temple stands for and all the structure and all the collaboration and all the power that entails, and goes someplace else, into the country, into the wilderness. And he's saying something different, and he's a prophet, and he's speaking to that. And one of his early disciples was a man by the name of Jesus, who came from the ridge of Nazareth and embraced his particular school of teaching. And now what's interesting about the story is how both Mark and Luke write about it, is that when Jesus goes through this initiation, this ritual cleansing, if you would, he immediately goes into the wilderness for 40 days. Now, there's all kinds of, I won't get into, the 40 days about, the 40 years of the Israelites and all that other kind of stuff. That's all very symbolic with the numbers and things, but there's something that's interesting that I think is salient to each and every one of us. All of us have moments of resonance, moments where something opens up, moments like it's like, I had not thought about it that way before. Or, oh my goodness gracious, I get this kind of download about a new possibility. And when that happens, there's a part of us that is tempted to fall back on the way things were, or to try to interpret that experience in systems that are comfortable and controllable and predictable. We all kind of go through that, right? You know what I'm talking about there? So this is what happens with Jesus. By the way, the same thing happens with the Buddha. But in Jesus goes into the wilderness, and it says, and there he was tempted by the Satan, by those winds of the wilderness, that power that was there, that contradictory voice that is always saying the same thing, called the lies and the father of lies. But he's tempted with, as Paul says, first it's like, you can turn these stones to bread. You can rule the world by just acknowledging me. You can outperform everybody. You can kind of have this thing where it almost looks like you're assassinated, but somehow or another you're saved by the grace of God. You can do all these things. You can curry all these, and you can be a better Caesar. You will be a good Caesar. You will be a kind Caesar. You will have my power, the power of force, in order to accomplish the good that you have. But see, this is the lie, and it's always been the lie. Because when one reads the Gospels, it comes down to two things. When you look at how the ancient Hebrew artists and prophets and how Jesus falls into that, it always comes down to the same thing. Who's the new Pharaoh in town? Because the Pharaoh is the one, just like Augustus says in the time of Jesus, after this brutal civil war, you can have peace through victory. Because that's what it comes down to. You can control the situation. You can beat the situation. You can have a popular uprising. You can be a good Pharaoh. Or you can have restorative justice. It comes down to that. Peace through victory or restorative justice. And they are two very different things. I'm reading Demons by Fyodor Dostoevsky, a light read. And, it's interesting because, the demons, there's a bad translation of it out there. It's called The Possessed, but it's not the characters that are the demons. The demons are the ideas, the isms that get into us, right? The isms, the nihilism, the anarchism, whatever the case may be, and how these ideas, these things of certainty then begin to possess us. And then we begin to think and act and participate in certain ways. But it all comes down to the same lie. It's the same lie that tempted Buddha, that tempted Jesus, that tempted Muhammad, that tempts us. It's the same lie that unfortunately most people in power succumb to. It is this: through power, through control, you can be as God. Because the lie is that God is all powerful. But if you read the Hebrew stories, it's nothing to do with power. God portrays himself as a mother hen, as a breast, as a loving parent, as a shepherd, as all these things. None of them are about power. They're about persuasion, luring, invitation to something else. It's not about force. But what we have done, and especially in our culture, is we have taken the power of Caesar and portrayed it onto God as if God is this almighty thing and we keep waiting for him to show up and kick ass. But it's not going to happen because that's not the nature of the divine at all. The nature of the divine is unrelenting love. And love is never forced. We see that in the handiwork of the divine, which is revealed through nature. Even the later theologians would say, that there are two great sacred books. There's the book of sacred writings, but even more than them is the book of nature. And if we see nature, we will see somewhat of the handiwork of this. But I think it comes down to this idea that somehow or another we can be immune. Somehow or another, someone else, if we just use some kind of force or power. So this is the whole story of Lord of the Rings, is it not? One ring to rule them all, one ring to find them, one ring to bring them all, and in the darkness bind them, in the land of Mordor, where the shadows lie. It is the temptation. And because the temptation is the ring, this thing that is powerful, this thing that Sauron has poured his energy into. If I can just get a hold of this and I can use this for good, except the bottom line is nobody is impervious to corruptive power, this corruptive force of power, except two characters in the book. One, Tom Bombadil, who is this otherworldly character who's completely, into his own thing. And the other one is Samwise Gamgee, Frodo's assistant. And what makes him impervious to the power of the ring is his love and devotion to his friend Frodo. In the Hindu tradition, it would be called bhakti, devotional service, devotional love. And that immunes him. But even someone as wise as Gandalf, who the operative part of Gandalf is what? Is he's doing good. He's there to nurture and bring forth the good of the world. And he does it through this sense of pity. And so at the very beginning of the story, when they're realizing what's happening, Frodo says, "You're wise, you're good. Why didn't you take the power?" And how many times do we say that? Let's get this guy. He's good. He's he's wise. He's smart. You. And what that's called basically is idolatry. And what's his name? I'm forgetting it. Eric Fromm, in his book, You Shall Be as Gods, talks about idolatry. And he says, idolatry is taking something that we don't want to own within ourselves and projecting it onto someone or something else. And the more powerful we make it, the weaker we become to it. Think about that. Where we give our personal authority away, where we outsource the authorship of our life, diminishes us to it. And that's what Frodo's saying to Gandalf, you do it. And this is Gandalf's offering. He says, "No," cried Gandalf, springing to his feet. "With that power, I should never have power too great and terrible. And over me, the ring would gain a power still greater and more deadly." His eyes flashed, his face was lit as a fire within. "Do not tempt me, for I do not wish to become like the Dark Lord himself. Yet the way of the ring to my heart is by pity. Pity for weakness and desire of strength to do good. Do not tempt me, I dare not take it, even to keep it safe, unused. The wish to yield it would be too great for my strength." Mark Twain says there's many ways to avoid temptation. Cowardice is the best and the most effective. And there's another character in the book too, Galadriel. And Galadriel had been a warrior. Her whole mission was to defeat the Dark Lord Sauron itself. And Frodo, in a moment of weakness, says, "Man, this is your whole mission. You do it. You take the ring." And she answers, "And now at last it comes. You will give me the ring freely. In place of the Dark Lord, you will set up a queen. And I shall not be dark, but beautiful and terrible as the morning and the night. And all shall love me and despair." She stood before Frodo, seeming now tall beyond measurement and beautiful beyond enduring, terrible and worshipful. Then she let her hand fall, and the light faded. And suddenly she laughed again. And lo, she was shrunken, a slender elf woman clad in simple white, whose gentle voice was soft and sad. "I passed the test. I will diminish and go into the west and remain Galadriel." And the temptation is for each and every one of us. Where do we see the expedient? Where do we think in terms of power over justice? Even within our own life. Even within our own life. Are we trying to overpower our body? Are we trying to control relationships? Are we trying to insulate ourselves from the things that are unpredictable and uncontrollable? And if we just think, man, if I just get this one thing, then I'll have it. Then I'll have the whole thing. Except that's the thing that we succumb to. And that's where the danger lies. Because it is not that path. And this was the essence of what Jesus taught, this idea of disruptive or distributive justice. I had a conversation with somebody in a text this week, and they asked me, do you think kindness is part of the spiritual law? And what I responded to was, kindness is the essence of the spiritual law. Without kindness, there is no such thing as spiritual law. Without kindness, there is no distributive justice. And so the first practice is the practice to be kind. Someone said to me the other day, "You're a kind person." I'm actually not. But I practice kindness consciously. Because my mind goes to, oh, if I was king of the world, if I had the ring, whatever the case may be, and then I get into my bloated self of nothingness, and then I have to remind myself, because that's the practice. That's the practice. We are all, I don't know about you, but I am always tempted to the expedient. I'm always tempted to the control. I'm always tempted to this idea of power versus this idea of justice. But I remind myself, I practice. Sometimes I do it, sometimes I apologize, but we do what we can, how we can. And so my invitation for us this week is to sit in this idea of the uncontrollability of this world and be willing to embrace that and stop thinking about how we can fix it and think instead how we can be kind. In Freemasonry, there's this whole idea about divesting our hearts and our minds of all the superfluities and letting ourselves become living stones for that house not made with hands. A stone, not the house itself. I'm not the temple, I'm a brick. You're not the temple, you're a brick. Because part of the lie is the belief that we are alone. Our founder, Ernest Holmes, used to say, you can take any condition in the world and distill it down and distill it down and distill it down, and you'll eventually arrive at a belief in separation. And so the idea then is to realize that nothing is separate from anything else. That's the point. We are all part of something greater than ourself, and that we are all participating in this flourishing of this thing greater than ourself. We are all creating a new possibility, and the way that we do that is to embrace what is unique and novel and good and true and beautiful within each and every one of us. This month I'm going to be speaking in terms of this whole idea of resonance and the work of Hartmut Rosa on two other things to consider, which is that one does not proceed spiritually without a good dose of self-respect and self-esteem. There's no other way we can advance without an honest sense of who we are, a sense of self-esteem that is grounded in this idea that I am made in the image of something that is inviting me to participate in it. And this idea of self-respect, which is how I choose to be in the world. And then with that, how we practice kindness. And here's a try this at home thing. Are you kind to your houseplants? Are you kind to your pets? Are you kind to your partners and your family? Are you kind to your neighbors? Are you kind? And if you're not kind, what story are you telling yourself? And you'll come to one that says, I'm better, I'm different, I'm alone. I don't see you as part of what it is. Or as the Buddha would say, you're trying to save the world but one. So we practice. And as a community, this, what's lovely, what's beautiful about being in a spiritual community is we practice in a community that chooses to love each other unconditionally. That's an advantage that we have. So, John the Baptist, you were a character, and you are not what we were told in Sunday school, a ranting lunatic. You were the son of privilege who said, it's not this. There's something bigger. Jesus, Buddha, the prophet, peace be upon him, each and every one of us, Frodo, Sam, Tom, Gandalf, Galadriel, we're all in the story. The story is revealing itself through us. And we get to write the next chapter of how we move through these perilous times. Thank you. Give me 1 second here.
Wow, Reverend Guy. We love coming
Once
here.
again.
Thank you so much.
We play all over Southern California
He's our
at
favorite.
CSLs, and I know we're not supposed to have favorites, but he's our favorite.
And we're not just saying that. We're going to do a song by our dear friend Carl Anthony. How many people know Carl? All right.
Yay.
So you probably have heard him do the song. So we need your help. So stand up.
Stand
This
up.
is called I Can Do Anything. And I'm going to, not only are we going to sing that line, but I'm going to need your help with hand motions, with American Sign Language. This is kind of a stylized American Sign Language. Now, I have to play guitar. So I'm going to teach you, and then you guys, I'm depending on you, okay? So here's the words for I can do anything. I can do anything. Anything was with attitude, all right? I can do anything. I can do anything. I can do anything. You got it? All right.
Oh, and feel free to sing while you're doing that. Really test and stretch yourself.
And also, this is kind of one of those swaying type of songs, all right? And Lee's going to help us out on this. So sway back and forth on the other parts that we're not singing. I can do anything.
One,
Here we go.
2, 3,
Woo!
and 4, and up. If someone tells you it's a waste of time, don't even try it. Don't be fooled, my friend. Believe in you, you can do it. You want the truth, you can do anything.
I can do
Anything.
I can do anything.
I can do anything. I can do anything. You got it. Do you want to do something? Do what you've always wanted. Do you want to be something? Who you've always wanted. Do you want to love someone? Take every chance that's given. Do you want to say something? Say it, say it. I can do anything. I can do anything. I can do anything. I can do anything.
Looking great.
How will you ever know if you'll succeed Unless you try it, you'll never know for yourself. Unless you buy it, you want the truth. You can do anything. Everybody sing.
I can do
anything. I can do anything. I can do anything. I can do anything. Do you want to do something? Do what you've always wanted. Do you want to be something? Be who you've always wanted. Do you want to love something? Take every chance that's given. Do you want to say something? Say it, say it. I can do anything. I can do anything. I can do anything. I can do anything.
All right. Uh-oh, I excited
Doug,
the
you
dog
liked it?
too much. That was great. You were wonderful.
So nice, so nice. So it truly is a blessing to be here every Sunday and to really experience such great energy. And today is one of those days for sure. So we've reached that time of conscious giving where we each get to just share our gifts, you know, and I think that's my vision of the world today, is where everyone shares their unique gifts. Like, what is mine here to do? Because it's co-op, right? We're all in on this. We all have skin in the game. And so this is an opportunity to do that, to really have skin in the game, to really express that love you have towards the Hilltop spiritual community. So it's whether it's in prayer or you're going to give some money or just your time and effort, it's all welcome. Truly it is, because you know we believe in that expression of love. And you know, and I'm working with that too, just like what Reverend Guy was saying about, you know, we're all together. Like, so for me, it's like I have my South Node in Aquarius, and I have to learn that it's just not me. Like, I'm a part of this whole experience, and I have to really to work to do that, to really show up for that. And so this truly is a time to show up with whatever it may be. And so if you're giving today, just feel free to place that gift on your heart. Or even somatically, if you want to just really just hold that presence of our heart awareness with your hand on your chest, feel free to do so. And so as we acknowledge this presence and this power of love by which we are here infused with, I know that these gifts today simply multiply for a world that is possible of love and kindness to ourselves and to each and every one. And so with these gifts, I know that they are a blessing. They bless us. They bless the Hilltop community. They bless the world. And so with that, I give thanks. I let it be so. And so
it is. Walter, we're not even singing. So thank you all again for being here, and I want to thank. Let's see, Larry and Karen. You guys are greeters. Was anybody greeting with you today? Nope. I saw Matt. You were in the kitchen? No, you weren't. You were a little. Mike was in the kitchen. Mike's in the kitchen. Ann's in the kitchen. You were Mike, but Jim wasn't in the kitchen. Jim was teaching, doing our un-Sunday school. Julieta's in the kitchen, Ann's in the kitchen, so give them some love. And Jeff, I always love when you're here. I can talk Tolkien, and I have one fan with me. One power, yeah. So, and Steve, of course, who does so many things, and Mike and Mark was there in the garden, and all of your lovely faces. I'll thank you all so much. And of course, Cahill and Delene, we just love when you guys are here. Thank you so much for coming. And Lee, who holds it all together, man, you're the best. You're the best. And yeah. And so with that, Annie, whoever I've forgotten, I always say, Phil, I always say, man, you know, after my Sunday talk, I may sound like I'm erudite and I know what I'm talking about and all that kind of stuff. And as soon as that, I'm like Rain Man. And it's like, who have I forgotten? What am I supposed to do? And how do I get out of here and whatever. So. Potluck next Tuesday. Next Tuesday. Or if you can't make it on Tuesday, do it on Sunday. Yes. Yeah. Joe, it's good to see you, buddy, by the way. Yeah. So with that, let us pray. Let us bless this day. Let us give thanks for all that is here. And my blessing for each of us is that something occurs today, and it will, and it shall, that brings us to a place of amazement and surprise. And may that experience lead us to wonder. And may that wonder awaken within us reverence. And may that reverence invite us into a place where we can be of service. Let us all practice kindness. Let us all set our sails to this idea of distributive justice. And let us turn our face from the lie that says victory brings peace, kindness brings peace, forgiveness brings peace, love is peace, and so it is. Thank you, Paul.
And let's sing "We Let It Be." Let the love wash over us. Here we go. We let the joy. The peace. We let the love. This is the last one. Have a blessed week. Thank you.